Get ready with me while I tell you guys about how I found out I was pregnant as a sophomore at the University of Alabama. I am not from Alabama, so I was an out-of-state student, and within my first few weeks there, I met a boy who is my now husband. As soon as I saw him, I told my friend that is my husband, and so we start texting, whatever, and then a year later, we move in together. My parents aren't together, but his parents are together, so naturally, my mom and his parents were not super thrilled about us moving in together. At the time, this was going into my sophomore year and going into his junior year. So obviously they had some concerns, but eventually they end up agreeing to let us live together. So we moved in together, and that year never once had a scare, anything. And then the next year, after realizing that we could not afford to live where we were living anymore, we decided to get a cheaper apartment, which was a little bit further from campus. And one of his friends was looking for a roommate. And so we asked him if he would want to be roommates with us in a two-bedroom. So we moved in with a friend, and during this time, I'm trying to get into nursing school, and the nursing program at Alabama is pretty competitive, so that was my main focus, was trying to get into nursing school. So I'm in grind mode. School is my main focus. I want to get in nursing school so bad. So within a couple of months of us moving into this new apartment with this roommate, I find out that I'm pregnant. And y'all, I was so in denial. Like, in denial is not even the word. I did not want to believe that I was pregnant. I missed my period, but I just could not believe that I was pregnant. So I didn't even take a test or anything. I was like, I'm just going to wait till the next month. And then if I don't get my period again this month, then I'll take a test. But right now, we're just going to chop it up as I'm stressed out. And that's why I missed my period. So the next month rolls around. And of course, guess what? I don't get my period. So I was like, ugh. So now I finally had to take a test, took the test, and it was positive. And when I say positive, I mean literally, I don't even think the test finished reading and it popped up right away. So I was very pregnant. Devastated. I am literally hyperventilating. Could not stop crying to go and show him the test. He's, of course, calm, cool, and collected, like always, and just kept reassuring me that it was okay, it's fine, we're going to figure it out. But I just did not want to hear that. I was devastated. And it wasn't even that I was devastated about having a baby. I was just devastated about the fact that my dream of becoming a nurse was over, in my mind at least. So once I finally come to terms with everything, I basically go into hiding. I quit talking to all of my friends. Every time they would ask me to hang out, I would always have some excuse. I avoided running into them on campus. Once I really started showing, I started wearing extra big t-shirts because I thought that I was covering it up, but I was not at all. Just because at a school like that, it's kind of taboo to be pregnant. And I definitely had quite a few experiences that were not that great. But that's for another time. So yeah, I go into hiding. I just put on this blush and it's way too pigmented, so I need to fix that. But with this going into hiding, I avoided going home. Like I said, I'm not from Alabama, so I did not go home at all. And my mom came to visit, I think, like 1 or 2 times during that semester, but I was able to hide it from her. And then eventually it gets to the point where I am 8.5 months and I still have not told my mom. And so I go for one of my last OB appointments, and he tells me that he thinks that I'm going to go into labor in the next couple of weeks or so. And so me and my husband start freaking out. I don't know what we thought, like it was gonna, I don't know. But we're like, oh my gosh, we're running out of time. Of course you're running out of time. Anyway, so that day we were like, we have to tell them. We have to tell them. So we sit down and basically have this strategy meeting on how we're going to break the news to our parents that we are pregnant. But he calls his parents first, and it was something about saying it that made it just that much more real. Even though I had a huge belly and felt her moving around and everything, it's like telling our parents was just, everything just felt more real. Parents first and tells them, and their response was not bad. Of course, they were a little bit disappointed, but they weren't mean about it or rude or whatever. So then I called my mom and tell her, and she was like, the first thing she said was, I already knew. I'm like, what? You already knew? And she was like, yeah, I knew you were pregnant. I was just waiting for you to tell me. Which still to this day, she hasn't really said how she knew. I guess just like a mother's instinct kind of thing. I don't know, but I felt like 1,000,000 pounds was lifted off of my shoulders when she told me that. And so I finished up that semester and went to my advising appointment because this was the semester that I was supposed to apply for the upper division of the nursing program. So as if I don't already feel like my life is over and like I'm never going to accomplish anything, I'm never going to be a nurse, I go to this advising appointment and she tells me that she recommends that I don't apply to the upper division and that I maybe think about going to a community college instead because it would be extremely difficult for me to be able to have a child and get through the difficulty of the upper division program. So I go home, have my daughter, and then trying to figure out what I'm going to do, and I decide to apply to the upper division anyway, even though it was my advisor advised against me doing that. So there was a lot of stuff that happened in between that time, but long story short, I ended up getting in. I graduated from the University of Alabama, Capstone College of Nursing with honors, with a baby, And yeah, moral of the story is don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it, and also make sure you take your birth control.
Yeah, that part. Make sure you take your birth control should have been the first lesson. But yeah, don't let anybody stop you. Don't let anybody tell you can't do nothing, or what you're doing is weird, or they don't get it. It's not for you to get. It's my life. I'm gonna do what I want with it, and I'm glad she can finish school. I'm glad she became a nurse. Come on, black ladies, black power. Yeah, because I would be really sad if she had to just dropped everything, because I don't think a baby is the end of anything. I think that if you want to, you'll make time and push through it. She has a husband, a now husband, and she has parents. Somebody can help out. I love this story. What do you guys think? Would you want some more positive stories on this page? Put it in the comment section below.